So this unit, we're going to be starting with what we called arithmetic sequence. What it is, an arithmetic sequence is basically we start with a number and I keep on adding the same thing or I keep on subtracting the same thing. So for our first lecture, I'm going to be working questions 1 through 6. So let's take a look at questions 1 and 2. It says find the common difference. What that means is what's the number that I keep on adding? Right? If I'm subtracting, it would be a negative number. If you guys can already see, like from 34 to become 134, and then 234, 334, like there's a number I keep on adding. If you guys can already see it, some people can just see it. Well, great. Now, if you cannot, the way we're going to do this, we're going to pick a number from the list, and we're going to subtract the previous number. Okay, so what do I mean with that? I'm going to pick a number. Let's say I picked this number, 234. And I'm going to subtract the previous number. So the number before that, 134. 234 minus 134, use a calculator if you need to, happens to be 100. Now you probably can see 34 plus 100 equals 134, plus 100 equals 234. I keep on adding 100. So now here where it says find the common difference, my answer will just be 100. Right? I expect the answer to just be numerical, but just 100. Now let's take a look at question number 2. You can already see from 39 to negative 44 to negative 49 to negative 54, right? Again, I keep on adding or subtracting the same thing. Now, for us to be able to find out, again, I'm going to do it kind of like how we just did. I'm going to pick a number from the list. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one. This time, I'm going to choose this last one because I said it doesn't matter which one. As long as you see a number before that, as long as we do that. So don't pick the first number. So I'm going to choose negative 54. And I'm going to subtract. I'm always going to go with minus the previous number. So the number before that. In this case, a negative 49. I know two negative signs put together. I'm talking about this right here. Two negative signs put together make a plus sign. So this becomes plus. Negative 54 plus 49. Signs are different, right? A negative and a positive. So I know I have to subtract my numbers. 54 minus 49 is 5. I have to subtract my numbers and keep the sign of the large one. So in this case, I was subtracting 5, right? Negative 39 minus 5 is negative 44. Minus 5 is negative 49, on and on and on. All right, so it's not too hard to find the common difference. Now, let's take a look at questions 3 and 4. Here, I'm asking find the 3 terms in the sequence after the last one given. So I'm adding or subtracting the same thing, but in this case, I want you to give me the next 3 numbers on the list. Let me find the difference first. I'm going to choose a number. In this case, I'm going to choose 6. 6 minus the previous number gives me 3. So it seems like I keep on adding 3 each time. I double check, I quickly take a look. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So I do keep on adding 3 each time. So now the last number in my list is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. So my next number will be 15, comma. 15 plus 3 will be 18, and then 21. Couple things I want to emphasize here. It's not just about numbers, but how we're going to type this in our homework. Notice how I put commas between the first and the second and third number. So I do have commas in there. One more thing I want to emphasize is there is a space after the comma. So 15 comma space, 18 comma space, and then 21. Make sure you don't forget the commas. Make sure you don't forget the space. All right, let's take a look at question number 4. First of all, let me find out what's the difference. The way I'm going to find the difference, I'm going to choose a number. I'm going to choose this number right here. 60 minus the previous number, in this case 30. 60 minus 30 is 30. So it seems like I keep on adding 30 each time. So I know the difference. The last number on my list is 60. Let me add 30, right? 60 plus 30 gives me 90. Plus 30 gives me 120. Plus 30 gives me 150. Again, don't forget the commas. Don't forget the space after the comma. All right, that's not that bad. Let's take a look at questions number 5 and 6. We can do it the long way. And I'm going to say the long way is pretty annoying. Here I'm asking, what's the 25th numbered on the list? Let me find the difference first. I'm going to find my difference. Let me use the word D now. I don't want us to get confused. So I'm going to use D for distance. And remember, for the difference, I always choose a numbered and subtract the previous number. So I'm going to choose 20 minus the previous numbered. 20 minus 10 is 10. So our difference is 10. The long way, like I said, there's a long way we can do this. I see the first 4 numbers on the list. Find out which one's the 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way to the 25th. That's the long way, right? It's going to be way, way, way too many numbers to list. Another way we can do this, which I'm going to call this the short way. I'm going to start with the first numbered on my list, or any number from my list. Now, my first numbered is 0, right? Like I said, I'm going to start from my first number from the list. So in this case, 0. And I'm going to add the difference so many times. Now, let me explain what that so many times means, right? If I have the first numbered, I have to add the difference only 24 more times. If let's say I had the 20th numbered on my list, right? I will have to add the difference only 5 more times. So I'm going to say I have to add the difference 24 times. And some of you might be like, Mr. Leonzo, I'm looking for the 25th number, not the 24th number in the list. Keep in mind the difference, right? We start adding the difference in order for us to get the second number. We don't start with the first number. We started with the second number. So if I'm finding the 25th number, I only have to add it 24 times after the first one. All right, so I'm going to use a calculator if necessary. I know 0 plus 240, right? Because 10 times 24, remember order operations. You have to multiply before you add. 0 plus 248. Remember, addition is the last thing we do. My 25th numbered on the list is 240. We could have figured out the long way. Keep on adding 10 each time until you get to the 25th number on the list. Like, do create the entire list, or just use a simple formula here. All right, let me find my distance here, my difference. I'm gonna call this D for difference, right? What's the number that I keep on adding or subtracting each time? Let me do this. I'm gonna start with a negative 199 minus the previous number, which is negative 200. All right, so the difference is a negative 200. It seems like I keep on subtracting 200 each time. All right, on question number 5, I started from the first number, but you don't have to. You start from any number on the list. Let me start from this number, so negative 599. Like any number from the list. And I have to subtract 200 so many times. So I'm going to put a parentheses there. All right. Keep in mind, this is my 4th term on the list, right? This is my 4th term on the list, and I'm finding the 28th term. So how many times after 4? It seems like in order from 4th place, the 4th number on the list, to the 28th number on the list, I have to do this 24 times. Okay. Yeah, because it's already from the 4th. to the 28th 24 times. So let's do this. So negative 599, 200, all right, I'm gonna do the multiplication first. 200 times 24 is 4,800. All right, so look at this, what I have. Negative 599 minus 4,800. It gives me negative 5,399. You don't have to type the comma. Like, remember back in the days, we learned that comma separates the thousands. Notice I have 5,399. You don't have to add the comma. If you do, good for you. If you don't, good for you. The sign, you do have to include the sign though. Make sure you do include the sign. All right, so that should be good for the first homework. If you need any help, you know where to find me.